We met what year was it?
1984, 85.
We met 1985. We just used to hang out about Leicester Square. We used to sell tickets. We used to be ticket touts for like clubs and concerts and stuff. And we just met via that, and we had a mutual love for music. And
Clubbing, stuff like that.
yeah, we used to go clubbing
Before the rave scene even started, when it was just like R&B clubs.
R&B, funk, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Before, yeah, like Mark said, before this thing.
The old Wag Club, Third Base at Shaftesbury's,
Yeah.
early stuff. And then the whole rave thing happened in like 89, and we just, we were young, sort of like clubbers, and we were just on the back of it from the off. And it just kind of evolved from that.
I took like a music business course on how the music industry works, and then we took a sound engineering course each, and then we just thought it was time that we do something that we felt we really were motivated by. We were never people that wanted to work for anyone. I think that was our philosophy. We didn't want to work for no one. We wanted to do our own thing.
And do something like what we enjoy.
So in '93, we formed Trouble on Vinyl. Our first release was March '93. A lot of people don't know this, but the first release was Ed Rush and Nico combined to do a track together. Nico was the first engineer. Nico from No U-Turn. When people talk about like the pioneers of drum and bass jungle, Nico definitely deserves to get a mention because he brought that whole tech step, Trace, Fierce, Ed Rush. He was the pioneer of that sound.
He invented that.
He
invented that sound.
He invented that sound basically. We've got 3 labels. TOV, Renegade Hardware, Renegade Recordings. Renegade Recordings started in '94 because we wanted to have. We could see that there was a split in the music, and we didn't want to have everything coming out on one imprint. So we set up Renegade Recordings for the more mellow, jazzier side of things, and then I think '95 Hardware was set up for the more kind of dark, tech step, industrial type
Where
sound.
the jungle scene was going through a bit of a lull because of violence in the nightclubs and just having the wrong elements going to the events, and it was kind of killing the scene. And when all the main sort of DJs, producers started making that kind of imprint, we figured that we have to have an outlet for it, and that's how it started.
Anyone who knows us knows that we don't really like to blow our own trumpet, but we were the first label as such to have 3 different imprints, because we could see back then that we needed to have, there's 3 different genres, and it's been like that since day dot, and up to now it still is. So yeah, that's why we had the 3 different imprints.
I think drum and bass people are very finicky. They like particular styles of drum and bass, so it's not like worth putting everything out on one label because you can't really create a following because it's all over the gaff.
When we first started doing it, we had friends who weren't into drum and bass that used to think that we worshipped the devil. because the music was back then, it was very dark and fierce, and it did scare,
aggressive and angry.
It did scare away a lot of women. I remember we used to go to raves and it was just all men standing there nodding their heads.
Still bloody is.
But it's a sound that people like. I think our biggest album to date has been the Essential Rewinds album. It was an album that grew rather mixed, and it had Conflict on there, Usual Suspects, Loxy, Inc., Dylan, DJ Control, Future Car. That was an album that really kind of sold
The label.
more than what we expected to do. It kind of blew the label up to where it is today. As far as events go, obviously, I think the best event we've had so far was the event that we won
The award
for, which was the Renegade Hardware with Valve Sound System, which was last June, which was just like, you had to be there to kind of understand how good it was, kind of thing. We've only been doing big parties for like 2 years, but we've been doing the N Club, which anyone knows, N is probably the best club in London as far as drum and bass goes. We've been doing that for 6 years, and the N parties are legendary. We get people travelling all over the world just to come to the N because, and there's a certain sound that we have down there. DJs know when they play at Hardware events, they have to play a certain style. I think they go that extra yard. They want to find those tunes that you don't normally hear, that all the other DJs are not anthem bashing week in and week out kind of thing. So it's unique, and as promoters, we're probably the only promoters that can flip it on both sides of the coin. We've got the Trouble on Vinyl events with all the MCs, and then we've got the Hardware events where you go there and it's about the music. I think one reason why I think we won the award for best label is our label is consistent. where other labels release sporadically, like once every 6 months you might see a release. You know, guaranteed every 5 or 6 weeks there's going to be a new Renegade Hardware tune in the shop. And I think, you know, there's not many labels who run
consistent
on a consistent basis. We're one of the few. We're not DJs, we're not producers, we're two guys who believe and love the music and run a business at the end of the day.
And the DJs don't feel threatened, the artists I should say, DJs, producers, whatever, they don't feel threatened because it's not like an ego thing where we're DJs as well and we're going to basically, you know,
Take
have
their
clash of conflicts.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
We're not going to take their work and we're not going to put our tunes out in front of their tunes.
Yeah, and give pride to ourselves. So it's a pretty level playing field, you know.
And
everyone gets the same kind of attention. I mean, obviously, the bigger your tune, the more, you know, we're going to put into it. But across the board, we don't necessarily put any more into one release than we do into another release, unless it requires it. If you understand what I'm saying.